So, dude, we've been talking for like 10 years, probably every couple of years, I think, maybe.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which I totally appreciate, man. That's been so cool. What have you learned in 10 years that has, I guess, brought you to this place to still sit down and talk into microphones? But what have you learned in the music business part of it, you know?
I've learned that I'm willing to put up with all kinds of hardships to continue to play music.
So would that be because record companies, I mean, when you start out and you have bottom of the bottle right from the get-go, there's got to be something in you that's going, not in you, but in the business, that are going, wow, here's the next band, right? Here's the next...
Well, yeah, I mean, there were events in between, but yeah, it was a pretty fast road from success to being dropped. You know, we had a lot of success on that first record, and we made a second record, you know, and
Anxiety,
and essentially we ended up getting dropped because of our attitudes, basically. But our attitudes were brought on by the label's attitude. So it was a chain reaction, and it was just, you know, everything went down the pooper kind of, and we did get dropped. We were actually fighting to be dropped at that point because we were so unhappy with everything that was going on. And then from then on, you know, it's been very difficult to get a label to really, really fully 100% support us. So, you know, it was interesting because that first song, like you said, it comes out, you know, even we had 3 singles from that first record that were successful, and you just assume it's all going to be like that.
Right.
And it definitely didn't all go like that, you know.
Well, what happened, and you don't have to get too far into the sausage on this, I guess, but too far into the sausage. How many times did you hear that during an interview?
I think that's the first time.
Anyway, I say that because I got an advance release of Anxiety, planning on it coming out, and it just didn't. And then finally I heard that you weren't on the label. How does that, when you look back on that and you say attitude on the record company, an attitude from you, but now do you look at it and go, maybe we didn't approach it properly as opposed to the record company really screwing you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, we were very young, very dumb, very drunk. And, I mean, you know, we were literally 22-year-old kids, 23 at that time, and drinking very heavily, partying a lot. And, you know, there are definitely
so you knew
things,
everything.
Yeah, we thought we knew everything, and there are definitely things that we could have done differently that probably would have been better. But at the same time, when I look back at that scenario, I just do feel like there were things tugging at my soul to say, fuck you, to what was happening. You know what I mean? And it was the young, dumb, rebellious spirit in me. And part of me regrets it, but then there's part of me that thinks, fuck yeah, dude, like, I stood up for what I truly believed in. We stood up for what we truly believed in, and we've suffered for it. But at the same time, we did what we felt like we had to do in our hearts.
Got to suffer if you're going to sing the blues.
Exactly.
So one more thing about the first record. You ready?
Ready.
Were you too hard on your parents on that record?
Oh yeah, probably.
I'm just saying now we're just sort of talking that 10-year span, right? Now that you're 10 years older, you go, wow, I laid it, because you laid it out there.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah, definitely. You know, I think every parent is going to make some mistakes and then do some things great, and they're going to do their best for their kid, and I guess they hope that their kid doesn't get a record deal and write a bunch of songs about their parental skills, you know? Yeah,
that's fair. So let's talk EP. Let's talk Food Chain.
Cool.
Which is the Sean Danielsen record.
Yes.
I guess I thought there was a sense of you coming from a place of, whether it's feeling stuck or darkness or just
It's pretty dark.
Yeah, just a different, and it's a different. I guess as I thought about your records, listening to this, there's sort of been an ebb and flow of, I'll say light and darkness, but that's really a huge thing,
right?
But I felt like you're in that place here, especially the lead track, right? It's almost like whether it's the first lyrics about I've been scratching at my eyes, hiding my emotions to the end, right? Where it's just like you're not really sure what all this is about, you know?
Right.
But yeah, talk to me about Waves.
Waves is kind of about getting in that place where you're just going through the motions, you know? You're just waking up and doing your routine, but not really feeling it. I'd say that's a pretty relatable concept these days.
Yeah, my fear is that is you're totally right. It is totally relatable and it's totally real for, I'll just say, everybody.
Yeah.
But how do you step out of it, right? Because you can't live there. Because if you live there, you're going to die there.
That's true. Yeah.
You know.
That's true.
But I guess you just don't take that for this particular song, right? I mean, this is just living in that world for those 3.5 minutes or 4.5 minutes, however long the song is.
Yeah, you know, I mean, sometimes you write a song when you feel just, you know, the tip of the iceberg, or not the tip of the iceberg. That's the wrong. Sometimes you write a song at maybe the lowest moment, I should say, and then, you know, that's you're typically here, and then you fall way down to here for a minute, and you write a song about it, and then you come back up to here, and this is where you hang out normally, but this is how you felt at that time down here, and you know, and then you just got a lot of people thinking you're extremely depressed.
But it's just not true, right? I mean, I actually think it's kind of the ironic part is the, in essence, last line, the joke's on me, right? Sort of like,
Right.
well, joke's on me because that's the way the world is, or something.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, it's true. It's everybody's dealing with that, and that's part of God's humor.
Well, I thought when you go into it's the chorus, isn't it? I don't care about the clouds.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a great line because you know, when I'm in a bad sucky place, like it's all cloudy right now, but when you're in a really bad sucky place, those
Bring
clouds
them on.
clouds don't even matter though, almost, you know what I mean? Just screw this.
It just helps feed the place you're in at that point.
And here's the funny thing I was thinking about you is, because I think you throw out F-bombs in a particularly cool way, whatever that means.
Thank you.
But I'm thinking, are you the guy who lays in bed and rehearses how you're going to say it?
No.
You don't.
No,
You just
not.
allow it to come out, and that's the way it hits the mic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to place them in the right spot, you know, to get a certain effect. But it's funny because you actually saying that reminds me that this guy wrote us on our Facebook one time. I remember telling me that he tried to cover one of our songs, and that in doing so, he really realized how dumb he sounded swearing in a song, and how much cooler all the singers that he listens to can actually swear. You know, so I guess swearing with a certain attitude is a developed skill, you know.
Well, we're all given gifts.
We're all given gifts. You just hope you can swear good on a mic.
Well, do you remember the first time you heard in a song the F-bomb? And I mean, because I think I remembered, I don't know what the song was. I just remember going like, oh, what did he just say? Could have been a Beatles record as far as I know. And I don't know. I just remember going like, you can't say that on a record.
Right.
So, and you know.
I don't remember a particular first instance, but when I was pretty young, I used to enjoy them. I used to enjoy them quite a bit.
Yeah, well, it does pull something out of us. I mean, yeah, it does pull something out of us. How come you didn't title "Rescue Me"? Don't rescue me.
Well,
because that's the gist.
That's actually a funny story too. Is that originally it was titled "Rescue," just Rescue.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I recorded it, I think my producer may not have labeled it in the beginning, and then when he went to label it, he actually labeled it Rescue Me. And it snuck through like that and got sent to the mastering guy like that, where it got encoded into the disc as Rescue Me. So I actually had to change the name of the song so that I didn't have a lot of confusion going on with the song title. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't going to be called Rescue Me because the point of the song is don't rescue me, like you just said.
Yeah. It
was just going to be called Rescue.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just got taken out of my hands, basically.
Well, again, it's a song that it's about feeling so stuck and just saying, I guess it's a great track coming after Waves, right?
Yeah.
It just sort of keeps that feeling going, like, but don't even take your time, right? Because I'm already this messed up.
Yeah, and Rescue Me has a little bit of the overly medicated society thing going on too. I was definitely have a lot of examples where I grew up. It's a big problem, big time problem.
And when you say overly medicated, do you mean it as prescription drugs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes, when you can work outside that, whether it's illegal drugs or just taking Advil and everything you can all the time just to,
right. Well,
soothe your bones.
I have a lot of experience with hardcore pill addiction. I have a lot of friends, like I said, where I come from. I have a lot of friends that died because of it, basically. So I've seen a lot of it. I've seen the effects of it, and it was something I just felt compelled to write about.
Let me show you a picture I took literally 30 minutes ago. That's what my brother took this morning.
Wow.
With his breakfast. And I said, you got it. I can't believe that. I mean, I what's that? 3, 4, 6, 9 pills.
That's a cocktail.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I can't believe that every doctor that he's seen knows he's taken all those 9 pills.
Doctors these days, I was telling you about before we started recording, I was telling you about my fiance's old injury issue and how they actually can't pinpoint exactly what it is that's causing these issues in her body. So the first thing that every doctor wants to do is put her on medication she doesn't need. That's the very first step. Yeah. And that's the attitude of doctors these days. They're being paid by pharmaceutical companies to prescribe their drugs, overly prescribe their drugs. So it's fucked.
I mean, it's just amazing to me when I see a TV ad or if you see a magazine ad and they have to put all the legal descriptors on there, right? Instead of this one-page ad about the purple pill or whatever it is, it's a 4-page ad because the one is an ad and the other 3 pages are everything that they have to do legally to.
There you go.
It makes me crazy.
Well, in other countries, they're not allowed to legally advertise directly to the population. Drug companies aren't allowed to advertise on television in Europe, for example. And that makes sense. Why would the drug company be allowed to advertise directly to the patient? The patient is not supposed to be prescribing themselves anything. They're not supposed to be going, well, I think I need this pill. They're supposed to go to their fucking doctor, tell their doctor what's happening with their body, and then their doctor is supposed to know.
Well, although I will say I do like the idea of the more information to me as the consumer. Maybe I can go, hey, should I be taking this yellow pill here? And hopefully the doctor works with me. Right. Doesn't just say, yeah, that yellow pill will help you. They'll work with me and say, no, you don't want to do that. But if the doc comes to me and says, well, I'm going to prescribe, wait a minute, I saw an ad about that. Aren't the side effects lack of oxygen and potential death? I don't want that. Let's work around. That's where, because trust me, there's not a TV station out there that doesn't love all the drug advertising.
Oh, of course, dude. Of course, it's big business.
It's bigger than big business. It's almost as big as the music business. Oh, wait, it's probably
bigger.
Probably bigger.
Way bigger. Way bigger.
Again, now we're back on where we should be. What business we should have gotten into 10 years ago.
I should have been prescribing people drugs, dude. I would have been a fucking billionaire.
Let me ask you. Let me go back down to Rescue Me. I know the deeper side. There's more than what we see, but I'm too numb to feel a thing, so I'll take my pills. Isn't that the person that you're talking about who goes to the doctor? It's like I don't care. I just feel bad. Shove them inside of me. That's the person you're just talking about, right?
Yeah.
And if the doc is willing to do that, well, happy day. Because you just made your customer happy.
And a lot of docs are willing to do that.
Yeah.
These days.
But why are we willing to do that? That's what I wonder. Where did we get to a place of such hopelessness that we go, yeah, I'll take the pill to feel better rather than the...
I think it's a slow boat. I think that you start out taking... I mean, a lot of people that I personally have known that have had pill addiction issues, it starts with just a little bit because you're just trying to have a good time, you're partying or whatever. Mm-hmm. And pills are so readily available because doctors are so overprescribing them. They're everywhere. They're all over the streets. So, you start out just taking this painkiller, that muscle relaxer, whatever, because you enjoy it. And then you enjoy it so much, you start taking it more and more and more, and those things are very addicting. So eventually you get to a place where your body needs it. And if you stop, you will die.
Yeah. Slow boat is but slow boat feels safe. That's the problem. But it gains speed. And all of a sudden there's a waterfall up ahead.
Exactly.
Wow, that's my little metaphor of the day. I like it. Yeah, I've always been a guy who can't stand materialism as I try to become a minimalist in my life. But let's talk about beautiful things then, right?
Yeah.
Sort of the idea of mixed up priorities is what I jotted down, and then trying to get away from those people who have those quote unquote mixed up priorities.
Yeah. Beautiful things is definitely about materialistic attitudes and messed up priorities.
But isn't that the same slow boat? When you're 6 years old and you want, freaking, handheld Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just that.
I guess you're right. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just everyone's different. But, I mean, as a kid, I always liked toys and shit. I always liked to have things,
Yeah.
But at the same time, all when I got older and my whole adult life, I've never been about having things. I've never cared about the newest technology or having the coolest this or that. I've always wanted to have enough money to do my music, be able to do what it is that I want to do with my life, and other than that, things aren't really that important to me.
Why do you go into I'll say Sitting Ducks world? That's what I thought about this song. It really connected with Sitting Ducks with me because we are all in the place of, well, this is the way it is, and we have, as you get to in the second verse, right? All I know is the governor is throwing the wall up between perception and what is real today,
right?
But we love that wall. I think we love that wall, or we don't recognize it as a wall. One of the other.
Yeah. It's not recognized as a wall, I don't think. I think we're all put into it. We're manipulated mentally to feel that we're in a great place when in reality our priorities are pretty fucked up, and we're a pretty fucked up society, and there could be a lot of improvements made that aren't being made.
But we continue to buy up their poison. And we don't even hesitate.
That's true.
But I mean, speaking of slow boat, I just wonder if that boat is generations old. Because if the grandparents and then the parents, again, whether it's getting your kid the certain toy or certain clothes, all of a sudden you don't even know that you don't even know you're on the boat. You just know that you feel satisfaction from wearing,
brand new this or that.
Yeah.
It's true. It's funny because my crew guy, Xavier, and I were just talking about this the other day. We were driving through Iowa because we were playing in Iowa, and we realized that we both have family from Iowa. We both have roots in Iowa. And what it was is that we both have grandfathers from Iowa that were, raised on the farm out in Iowa and caught a glimpse of something more and moved to California. My dad was born in Iowa, but, my grandfather moved to California when he was like 2 or 3 or something. So the bottom line is, it's been a slow progression from, 2 generations ago, it was Iowan farm boys, and then, by now you've got materialistic douchebags growing up in L.A. County, driving this car and wanting this this brand new laptop and that whatever, material possession. And so it's taken a couple generations, and there was that whole economic bubble that we were all living in for quite a while there that made things a little unrealistic,
Well, in this song, at the end, you are saying to people, wake up and please notice what you have is not everything is cracked up to be.
Wake up from this. Yeah.
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 So Food Chain, a little more personal?
Yeah, it's pretty personal.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, believe it or not, it kind of comes from the Smile Empty Soul experience a little bit, because I feel like you get put into your place in the food chain, and it's very hard to change that place. You've got people holding you in that spot.
Yeah, that's my question. Are we made to feel like what my sense is here, bottom feeders, right?
Yeah.
People want us there, or at least we allow them to make us feel like we're there.
Yeah, it's tough to break out of the level that you're at with anything, and move up or change anything. I think we all get put into a spot and held there by the people above us.
So is that why there's pressure to write the hit song? Just give me the hit. I know there's a song out there by you. But is that why there's that kind of pressure? Because you feel like if I can get a hit song, literally, I can get out from this level that I'm feeling stomped down to.
Well, yeah, that is kind of the way it works within the music industry. But the thing is, it's not just about having, writing that hit song, because what's a hit song? A hit song is just a song that gets spun a certain number of times. Mm-hmm. So you've got to have that song of that quality to be a hit song, but then you have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay all the right radio people to play the song enough times to make it officially a hit song. So that's part of it, is that, if you want to change your place in the food chain in the music industry, it's not going to happen naturally. It's not just going to happen. You have to buy it.
Or have a really great ass.
You better have a really, really great ass, I guess,
So is the last song, Broken Bones and Skeletons, I personally had a tougher time trying to go, oh yeah, it's about, and I kind of jotted down, is kind of somebody who's at the end of their rope?
Yeah, basically. It's definitely, it's another hopelessness feeling song. It's bumps and bruises of life kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll never know the answers till the end. Don't want to feel the sickness till I'm dead.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, that one. It's just a depressed ass song.
But why an EP this time? Why not wait for 5 more songs to make it the food chain LP, as it were?
I don't know about making LPs anymore. The bottom line is nobody gives a rat's ass, and you kill yourself to write 12 songs and then record 12 songs. The whole process with all fucking 12 songs, it costs you way more money, takes you way more time, and you put it out, and the whole thing loses its steam and momentum after a few months, just like any release. yet you spent way more money to create this piece, and you spent way more time creating this piece. You can build just as much in this day and age with people's short attention spans. You can build just as much excitement with a release of 5 songs because it's a new release. So why waste your fucking time, effort, energy, and money putting together this elaborate 12-song album that no one's going to appreciate because they're going to hear 1 or 2 of the songs and possibly just go buy those 2 songs off of iTunes, or just go and simply listen to those songs a few times on Spotify. Why kill yourself over that? You know, I don't see Smile Empty Soul making another full-length album, and I'm not going to make one on my own either, you know? The other thing is, too, you know, it's hard enough getting somebody to buy your album these days, let alone if it's a full-length album that's $10 on iTunes. It's a lot easier saying, hey, this is $4.99. My new release, $4.99. Go pick it up.
Yeah, that's interesting, yeah.
It's an easier cookie to sell, you know, essentially.
And what about doing, I don't even know what you do now when you're doing shows, but I just watched Donnie Darko, that movie. Have you seen that?
Oh, I love that movie, yeah.
I wondered if you would as a California kid.
Yeah.
But just because of all the stuff we've talked about over the years. But you know the end credits song, the guy who covers Mad World?
Yeah.
I just dig that song so much because it just brought this whole nother dynamic to this Tears for Fears song, right?
Yeah, it's a nice cover.
I was thinking, as I was listening to your stuff, especially your slower stuff, that's sort of, what's the word when you don't have a lot of instruments, you know, when it's really broken down to just you and your guitar. Just
minimalistic.
Right. But have you thought about just taking some huge song that has way more meaning than anybody ever caught from it and said, yeah, I'm just going to do like a couple cover songs, whether it's in concert or whether you throw them up on iTunes or whatever?
I mean, it's not a bad idea. I definitely cover. I've been covering "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd on this tour. That's always a fun one. I like doing covers, but to release a cover song on iTunes gets a little sticky because you're selling somebody else's song.
Yeah, I wondered how a lot of this stuff works.
You actually have to get their permission.
But what about like "Run Like Hell" by Pink Floyd? Just really slow. I wonder, right? You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Just saying, yeah.
It's definitely something that I wouldn't write off as an idea. But like I said, it does get a little stickier when you're trying to sell something. Like, for example, you know, the producer I do that stuff with, Eddie, you know, he's done a lot of very cool covers. Kind of the style of what you're talking about. He'll take a song that was like a full-blown rock track and had this certain energy to it, and he'll do a cover of it with a friend of his. He has this one friend that plays nice piano, has a beautiful voice, and he'll do like broken down, totally change the energy and the vibe of the song. It's to the point where you almost can't tell it's the same song.
Right.
And he did that with a whole slew of songs, and they all turned out very, very cool. And I believe he was just taking them around for licensing purposes. So it is a good idea, a cool idea. You could really change a song quite a bit if you go for it.
Well,
you know?
I wonder if it, because I'm such a lyric guy, I just wonder if it brings more out from the lyrics. Yeah, but I wonder if it brings out more. Is it really a great song?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's the thing about a great song, is that it can be translated from one style to another style. You know, if you,
because you could almost make "Bottom of the Bottle" a sad song. Because I think I mean, not that there isn't that sort of element in it a little bit because of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, when you're writing that, you're just like, let's do this. You know, let's find the bottom of the bottle and party or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if you can take that song and just break it down and.
Well, I do it acoustically on this tour I'm doing right now, and there's some things about it that I changed to make it work acoustically, but it is along the lines of what you're talking about. I've changed the song.
Yeah.
To make it work acoustically. It's totally different vibe. It's mellow. It's I'm not screaming it. It's
sure.
And it works though. It still works. That's the thing about a good song. Like I said, you know, you could take a song that's well written and just make an instrumental piano piece out of it, and it will sound amazing. You know, you can't do that with a. You know, I'm not trying to shit on him or anything, but you can't do that with a Rob Zombie song. Mm-hmm. You know, you're not going to transpose that. You're not going to take the Rob Zombie song and play it on a piano and just sing it in some beautiful singing voice. It's not going to translate.
Right, but I never in my life would have did what Rick Rubin did with Johnny Cash to take that Nine Inch Nails song, right?
Yeah.
I never would have done that. I never would have thought this is the song that Johnny Cash can just nail.
Yeah.
And did.
Yeah.
And in fact, I love that version even better, really.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, that's what makes Rick Rubin. He could see that would.
Yeah. Again, I don't know what Trent's intentions were when he wrote that song, but I feel that song so much when I hear the Johnny Cash version.
Right.
You know, I just feel it in a whole different way, you know. So
yeah.
It doesn't feel so angry. It feels very melancholy and very, if not sad.
Yeah, it gives a definitely different energy.
Yeah. Right.
Which I like the energy on the Nine Inch Nails version too, but it's definitely becomes a different animal when Johnny Cash does it.
Yeah, and there's something cool, at least for me as a listener, and maybe for you as an artist, when you are, say, a verse into the song and people are kind of going, I know this, but what is this? And then when you hit the chorus, they go, wow.
Yeah.
You brought, you pulled that thing out from, again,
true.
Whether it's a Pink Floyd song or whatever, so.
Yeah.
Or a Van Halen song. I don't know if there's a Van Halen song you can do that with, but. Dude, I, like always, appreciate the time.
Dude, thanks for having me, man. Yeah, it's always a pleasure. This is got to be the 5th or 6th or
anyway
7th time we've
however many records you have out, probably.
Yeah.
I catch you on tour each time, right? So
seems like it, yeah.